So now that we have the recording in progress, I would like to officially welcome you to the ZeroW Business Ecosystem and SILLs showcase. So with this in mind, I would like to ask everyone to have their microphones
Estoy callando, ¿eh?
off when they are not speaking, and to speakers to have their cameras on while they're talking. I would like to ask everyone to utilize the Q&A box or the chat box, what is shown to you. If you have any questions during the presentations, and they will be answered right after each presentation, but also we will have a group discussion towards the end of the meeting. So today's agenda is really to the point. So after this welcome and introduction, we will swiftly move to the SILS showcase. Today we'll be showcasing 6 out of 9 systemic innovation living labs that are being developed within the ZeroW projects. And then later on, we will have a group discussion where you will be able to address any questions as well from the SILs towards the ecosystem and the other way around. And of course, at the end, we have still some nice news to share. So to begin with, for the ones that do not know, this activity is being organized on behalf of the ZeroW project. So the project is being funded by the European Commission, and it will end this December after years of great activities and great developments of 46 partners from 17 countries and the budget of almost 13 million euro. The project itself, it aims to fight food loss and waste through systemic innovation, and we have, as mentioned, developed 9 of them, and today we'll be showcasing 6 of them. So without the further ado, as we have a lot to cover and we would like to be mindful of time, I would like us to move on and start with the SIL showcase. So before how it will work, each presenter will have 5 minutes presentation, and then it will be followed by 3 minutes for questions from the ecosystem, so from the audience, from you. Please be really concise with your questions, but also I encourage SILs to be really concise with their answers so we can allow for more questions to ask. After that, as I mentioned, we will have a group discussion, and in this case, I would also like to encourage SILs to ask questions to the audience about their innovation, about their marketability. If you would like to recommend them something, if you would like to provide them some feedback as well. So, without further ado, I would like to give floor to the first speaker. So, from the SIL 5, Jose Luis Gallego. Jose, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Daniel. I would like to share my screen. Please let me know if you see it.
We still can't see, so if you can, now it's going there.
Okay.
The
Can you see it?
floor is yours. Yes, Jose, you have
Okay.
5 minutes.
So basically, I would like to start describing a little bit about our SIL 5 solution, which is mainly addressing the problem of the food loss and waste generated in tomatoes. We have tried to identify ugly tomatoes that do not meet quality requirements, especially at that early stage. And well, we have tried to, using our 2 solutions, try to reevaluate and reduce the claims and non-conformities that can lead to this food loss and waste. As well, to give a little bit of the perspective of the problem, Andalusia, Spain, and Italy represent 2/3 of the EU tomatoes production, and approximately 30% of the fruits discharged each year can be extrapolated to these amounts. So for us, it's a really big problem in Andalusia that from the well, basically in 2000 2020, almost 800,000 tons of tomato were produced, and well, it's a really big number, as you can see, and most of it is exported, so it's very prone to be so due to be considered as ugly food, and thus be ultimately uh, discharged by the consumers. This is why we are promoting our solution, which is based on two different technologies. The first is a non-destructive multispectral platform, which, along with an algorithm of artificial intelligence and real-time data, is able to process tomato up to 300,000 per hour. And in this way, we can try to classify early and avoid this food discharge of the tomato. We are also promoting a solution of NH sensor technology, which basically is focused on ecological and organic and non-organic origin of the tomatoes. In this fashion, we can prevent the customers to discharge these tomatoes because they don't comply with their requirements. As you can see, well, there are different parameters to these solutions we are monitoring. The progress of our SILL is been quite extensive in the practical side. We have been focusing on pre-commercial and piloting phase, since we are initially focusing on shelf life. We had a important milestone regarding the realization that this parameter was quite complex, and then deriving to the firmness of tomatoes and also the bricks, which are parameters very well monitoring the consumer side, especially regarding retailers. And well, we have done quite a significant amount of sample, as you can see, and we have built a quite consistent data set with this data. So to finalize, our next steps would be to look for collaboration or partnership with retailers, which would give feedback on data related with our solutions in order to to get more strong outcomes and results to confirm our data. Also, it's important for us to increase samplings, since the algorithm would be able to grow. Obviously, the more sampling we do, the more consistent the data is. And obviously, the parameters I mentioned earlier, firmness, bricks, degrees, and shelf life, are quite difficult to relate in between. So the more data we have, the easier it is. And well, basically, as I said, retailers, customers, and all the data collected regarding the final waste prevented by the solutions are, well, the information that we are focusing on the next steps. So if I don't know how much time was that, but if it's any question regarding the
Perfect.
seal.
You're right on time.
Okay. Thank you.
This was great. So, Jose, we actually have two questions from you. The
Perfect.
first one is, what about the non-compliant tomatoes?
Yes, from our in our SILL, one of the two solutions are located in Grupo La Caña facilities, and that's where many of the sampling is being done, and the non-compliant resulted from the project activities. They were oriented to a second life product that line second life products that they have with sauces and gazpachos, and this line of valorization is quite important for our SILL partner, and they also have some other potential ways to prevent that non-compliance to reach the status of waste. But obviously, because it's very early identified, it's easier to find a solution for them, since there is still some time to work with them. When they get to the retailers and when they get to the customer and they find them ugly, is when there is no turning back, and this definitely going to be waste, this non-compliance.
Thank you, Jose. Just we also have two follow-up questions, but please do be concise with this.
Sí,
Uh,
yes.
there is a question, at which point in the supply chain are you measuring?
Well, currently, most of the measurements are done in the pre pre-harvest and processing, is where the platform and the NG sensors are more it's the piloting phase mainly.
And then we have a follow-up question. Could your approach be expanded to other fruits and vegetables, and which produce would be the next on the list?
Well, it's actually internally in the SIL, we have considered this quite importantly. Theoretically, it could be done, even though it's quite difficult because the tomato shape and the spectrum varies from other fruits and vegetables. It was considered, I believe, some. Some like cucumber, some vegetables which uh, it depends on the shape. It should be a shape either similar to tomato or easier uh, to monitor in the spectrum. So to answer shortly is yes, but it's quite difficult to do.
Thank you, Jose Miranda. Do we have time for one more question?
I think we can take it at the end now.
Okay. So the question is, use your solution as a service you'll provide to tomato producers. And for now, do you have like a sort of a business card type of thing with a basic info to present to potential future partners?
I believe I didn't get the last part. Could you repeat, Daniel, please?
You have a sort of business card type of thing with the basic info to present the potential future partners. So basically, do you have some material that you are presenting to potential stakeholders?
Yes, well, obviously, in our SIL, we have a technological partner which is Multiscan, and also a facility partner which is Grupo La Caña, and they do have most of the inside knowledge about the algorithm details, but there are definitely data which could be interesting for partners, and this this technology is quite promising to carry on.
Thank you very much, Jose. We still have questions, but we'll take them in the group discussion. So
Okay,
forget about those, but we still encourage people to write them down exactly so we can ask them in the group discussion. So, Jose Luis, thank you very much for presenting
thank you.
the SIL, and we look forward also for your questions to the audience, on the other hand, at the group discussion. Now, I would like to invite to the stage Andra Tanase to represent SIL 1. Andra, the floor is all yours, and I see the presentation is already being shared.
Perfect. Thank you for the invite. It's a pleasure to chat a little bit about our Systemic Innovation Living Lab, the Food Loss and Waste platform, which we managed together with our colleagues from Slovenia. So I will dive straight into the presentation. Our seal is a little bit different from the other ones in the sense that we address the same problems, but we are developing a technological solution. Basically, we start from some of the same problems that were highlighted also in the previous presentation. Basically, food loss and waste remains a major challenge. Although Slovenia and Romania, where we have our SILL implementation, are not, let's say, the top in terms of food loss and waste champions, still there is a big challenge with the quantity of food loss and waste, and especially true is that the current data systems are fragmented, namely that we don't have accurate data on food loss and waste, and this is provoking a number of issues when it comes to reporting, when it comes to estimates, when it comes to connecting the problem, the food loss and waste which exist, to potential solutions. Furthermore, the awareness on food loss and waste is limited. And when we talk about awareness, we talk about the scale of the problem, how big it is, how much it affects our everyday lives, our economy, the degree of poverty, social networks, and so on, our environment, and so on, the effect, and also the awareness on the options, what we can do about it, what is out there. So SILL 1 addresses these problems, and as well it addresses the lack of harmonized open solutions to measure, share, and act on food loss and waste, and this is happening across the supply chain. The solution, as I mentioned, is a platform, a modular IT platform for food loss and waste data collection, data analysis. Is there a problem? Or I can continue? Yeah.
Please continue. Yeah.
So basically, the IT problem that does data collection, to some extent, data analysis, and also reporting. So this platform is piloted in Slovenia and Romania, and the solution is designed to be transferable and scalable. Now, Slovenia and Romania, it is piloted in both places, but there are slight differences. In Slovenia, the data is gathered from a short food supply chain mainly, and it's automated, linked to the accounting books. In Romania, we have data which is gathered from input from the different food chain supply actors, so consumers, producers, retailers, and so on and so forth. There are several reasons why we did that, but basically it has to do with the context and also the availability of automating different processes, and also because we want to test different ways of data input, and in order to get more accuracy and more granularity as to food loss and waste data. Sorry, I'm a bit rushing, I guess. So the solution, it was designed, and it supports SDG 1231 on global food loss and waste, and it supports also EU reporting standards as per the delegated decision and the implementing decision, whose numbers you see here. Before I go to the next slide, basically on the lower part, you can see the page where you can enter into the portal for food loss and waste in Transylvania, and also from the DIH AgriFood portal, where you can enter into the platform from the Slovenian side. In terms of what we did, we spent a lot of time, and obviously it's a platform, so on technicalities, on connecting to zero data space, on creating and validating the business model, on testing. So basically, we are now at an early adopters phase, where our platform was tested with supply chain actors. We worked on a REST API front-end mock-up so that this data sharing is happening with real data in the two countries. And a lot, aside from the tech part, we did on partnerships. We had active collaboration with local stakeholders, food banks, with the ministry, with advisory bodies and digital innovation hubs in order to ensure that we are indeed a living lab piloting this in real life circumstances with actors from the quadruple helix. And we did also awareness raising campaigns, sometimes on our own, sometimes online, and sometimes the awareness raising campaigns were coupled with other initiatives. I can give an example in Romania with the Climathon, or with different projects that focus on food loss and waste here at the local level, such as Turn the Tables and others. So all this to anchor ourselves in the local environment. Okay. Sorry.
Thank you, Andra.
Yeah.
We can move to the Q&A session.
Yeah, I think this was actually just the next steps is on partnerships and looking for scaling and support. So basically, we made the solution. We are looking to connect better and to scale it and to see what and how it can be taken further.
Thank you very much, Andra, for the presentation. Are there any questions for Andra and for SILL1? So we do have a question. I also encourage everyone to type it down or raise your hand. So the question is, are the collected data provided by open data repositories already existing, or it was necessary a previous censoration along the value chain? So the person thinks it's not easy to collect such data, and
Yeah.
they will contact you regarding scaling.
So it's not provided by open data repositories already existing, and this is indeed the trick. We tried to make something that is, we're using real data. Is not that much data, but definitely it has the purpose of scaling. Also because open data repositories on food loss and waste at the local level are basically non-existing. And a lot of the national estimates, the things that we see in the statistics are estimates, are not real data, and they're therefore not so accurate.
Thank you, Andra. We also have another question for you. So who are the expected target audience of this IT platform in the supply chain?
So the IT platform users can be all the actors in the food supply chain. Where we received most interest from is either consumers, because they basically want to have a visualization of their tracking of the food waste, and also of different businesses that are looking to connect their food loss and waste initiatives to the existing data. So, for example, a company which just had a startup on using the remains from the coffee, or a company that created a solution connecting different farmers with restaurants. So these were the highest levels of interest. But obviously, we have also as an expected target audience, and they're very interested, the authorities that have in their responsibility reporting food loss and waste, because this gives them a narrower and a more accurate regional side to it. and also researchers who are generally just fishing for data, and they love data, so they're always an keen user.
Thank you very much, Andra. So far, no further questions, but if someone has additional questions for Andra, please write it down and then we will address them additionally. So Andra, thank you really, really much for your
Thank you.
for your answers. Now I would like to invite to the stage our SIL 2 representative, Jesus Palenzuela Conde. So Jesus, I see that you're already having the presentation ready. So please, the floor is all yours.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming here and attending this presentation from Zero Waste. I'm gonna put it into presentation mode. Okay. So we are addressing a solution in order to reduce the food and loss waste through the designing of a new packaging, a smart and sustainable packaging. And as the rest of my colleagues, we are tackling the food and loss waste, but also we are working as well to improve the sustainability of the packaging. The problem that we are facing is like every year, 1.3 billions of tons of food go to waste. This is enough to feed like 2 millions of people. And 10% of the Euro's food waste is linked to the date labeling. When they are reading the labeling from the packaging, sometimes people don't know if they can use it or not. So sometimes they discard the food just to be safe. Almost 32 millions of tons of plastics waste is generated in Europe every year. That means that around 80% of the marine litter is plastic. And because of that, there is a huge concern about between all the European citizens related to the impact of the plastics on the environment. So this SILL solution is tackling all of this, is tackling the food loss and waste and also the environmental issues of the packaging through means of a new sustainable packaging to help to reduce the food waste and improving as well the sustainability of the packaging related in this case for the olive fish, like for example salmon. In this case, the tray and the lid are made from bio-based compostable materials, replacing the fossil-based packaging. That means replacing as well the hard part of the tray, so the tray by itself, and also the flexible part of the tray, the lid. The trays improve the geometry and designing, eliminates the needs as well for the absorbent pads. And this prevents the fish from sitting on the liquids and helps as well to extend the shelf life of the fish in this case. The lid incorporates a transparent coating as well to improve the barrier properties of the lid, because we are talking about bio-based materials, and then these bio-based materials sometimes they don't have the enough technical properties, like for example the barrier properties. So we help the bio-based material with a coating on top of this flexible bio-based material for the lid, helping to maintain the freshness of the fish for longer as well. And the key of the packaging as well incorporates a smart freshness label that changes the color, indicating the quality of the product. This allows the retail, the staff, and the consumers as well to make better decisions with real-time data in order to discard, not discard, or managing the stock of these trays. Also, this label can be read as well by a mobile app as well to improve as well the real-time freshness information from the consumers of the retailers. So this is the solutions. How we are now, right now in the project. So the smart tray is already developed at lab scale. We are working on minor improvements. For example, the performance as well is currently being tested and studied. Full-scale testing with retailers and the consumers is not within the scope of the project. So a next step would be needed in order to take it into the commercial stages. But initial consumer focus groups show high acceptance of the packaging and also the smart label. So for the next steps related to the path to the market and partnerships, this product is aimed to the manufacturers, packaging manufacturers, also packers from fresh products as well, retailers. The development of this smart and sustainable tray and lid covers the whole value chain currently in the Zero project, including RTOs, industries, final users. However, companies covering the production and the commercialization of the tray would be needed as well. and Orden as well to transfer and to increase the potential of this development of the technology showed in this smart tray packaging could be transferred as well separately, for example, to other markets and to other sectors, products, and not only fish, could be transferred as well to meat, for example. That means, for example, the sustainable material for the packaging, the tray and the lid, could be for fresh food packaging, but could be as well for cosmetics, for example. The barrier coating could be as well transfer independently. The designing, obviously, and the mass freshness ink and label could be adapted as well to the products through the previous adaptations, technical adaptations, and of course as well the software for the reading of the label. So this is the presentation that we prepared. So thank you very much. And this is the contacts of the partners involved into this development, which is Itene, myself, Novamont, developing the sustainable materials, Thermoformance, doing the fabrication of the tray, and Eroski as the final user validator for the tray. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jesus. Right on time. So we do have a question for you though. Where do you expect to make most impact, in retail or in the consumer's home?
This solution could be transferred to the retail level and also the consumer, but I think the biggest impact could be in the retail level as they are managing the bigger amounts of stocks related to the fresh food.
Thank you, Jesus. Let's see if we have one question. Yeah, okay, we have a question. So what's the price comparison between traditional way and your way?
Obviously, we are having some benefits with this development, but if we compare tray, the traditional tray and this innovative tray, obviously the new one is going to be more expensive, but we have to see in a value how much we are spending more for the new one and how much savings we are causing. Saving at the retail level, saving at the consumer level, and also savings to the whole environment as well. So everything has to be put in account.
Thank you, Jesus. Let's just give a couple of seconds if a new question will pop up or if someone will raise their hand. If not, of course, any question directly related to Jesus's presentation, it will be addressed at the end of this meeting. So thank you very much, Jesus.
Thank you.
Thank everyone as well again for asking questions. That is really great. So I would like to invite now SILL 4, so Bart van Drogenbroek. So sorry, Bart, if I butchered a bit your surname. So Bart has sent us now an email. Maybe he has trouble joining, but then I think we can move on and then have Bart's presentation towards the end. So now I would like to invite SILL 6. So Inés Vázquez. So Inés, you are here with us. So if you are ready, if you are okay, we can have your presentation going on.
Can you see it?
Perfectly. The floor is all.
Okay. Yeah, first, apologies because I don't know why my camera is a bit blurry today. Decided to don't work properly. But hopefully you can still see me. So, yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Inés Vázquez from Asincara, a technological center in the north of Spain. And in SILL 6, we are working with Aldelis, which is a poultry meat producer, as well in Spain, working on this SILL 6 on food waste reduction through advanced data-driven production process control and optimization. So what is the problem we are targeting? So here, the problem on food loss and waste comes from how the industry currently works. So where we are dealing with discontinuous operation and manual works, is all under human supervision. There is a lack of continuous control, and all this, how the production lines are structured, leads to reactive and delay interventions, and also that rely on subjective and experience-based decisions. No, so at the moment, what we need is a more data-driven, evidence-based decision system to combat food loss and waste. No, so what we are targeting here specifically is our objective is to significantly reduce food loss in the poultry production through continuous advanced control and optimization of key variables dynamics of the specific Aldelis poultry production line. So what is the solution we are working on? So as you can see here, this is the Aldelis poultry production line, means poultry production line, where we are working with chicken and turkey meat. And what we are implementing is optical sensor that you can see there in the quality control step at the beginning. To analyze the salt concentration of these minced meat products. So what normally is done by a destructive method, which is the use of a salinometer, where we need to prepare the samples. It takes time to obtain the results. You cannot evaluate all the samples, and there is no time to correct the actions, no? Because by the time we get the result, it's too late, and all those batches that have been prepared cannot be used, no, will be disposed or used for animal feed. What we are implementing here is a solution that allows us to perform in situ test, which is low cost, is easy to use, can measure on site, as I said, and is not destructive. So we don't need to take a sample. We can just take the measure on top of the package tray with the lid on and obtain an immediate result. So what we have developed here is chemiometric model, and is what we are currently using. On the other hand, there is another applicative that has been developed in collaboration with Itainova. In here, what we focus is on the defrosting process of poultry meat that goes through different cycles. And currently, what is done is that there are different sensors in the defroster, sorry. And what we don't know is if through the different phases there is a failure of these sensors. We don't know. There is no information. So there will be, if something goes wrong, there will be a lot of tons of chicken or turkey waste. So what we are doing here, our solution, is to develop an alert system, so a model that allows us to detect in which cycle of the defrosting process we are, and also detect any anomalies, no? So we can correct and make the changes necessary so that the defrosting process can continue. Regarding progress, we are at the pilot early adopters stage. So we are at TRL 7, no, because we have performed the validation at Aldelis processing line. In terms of the strategic, we are MRL 2, so we have submitted a patent from protection on the algorithm that we have developed for the chicken production line and the turkey production line. In terms of the organizational readiness level, we are at 4, as we have validated at Aldelis processing line and started to acquire roles, competence, and skills. We are at manufacturing RLL 4, as we have prototypes and personal skills having demonstrated in an Aldelis processing line. And the milestone reached is that we have developed tools and validate them at industrial level. And we also have done a workshop at the end user facilities in June, not recently. Next steps in terms of the market could be, for example, licensing the algorithm to an IT company that could be part of the consortium for final productization and launching to the market. This comes a little bit ligated to our current patent that we submitted. There could be, software updates or maintenance as a service. We could do direct commercialization of the algorithms through a spin-off of our technological center, as in CAR. And then, of course, we can use all the know-how generated to perform similar R&D projects or research contracts. In terms of partnerships, we could work with technology providers from the hardware perspective, so the developers of the actual optical sensors, and also from the data analysis and model perspective. So we will need key industrial partners that will speed up the implementation of the solution, like food processors or producers, that could be Aldelis. Hardware suppliers to integrate models into the spectrophotometers and offer it as a ready-to-go service, ready-to-implement solution. And also research organization or university that could improve could improve our models, and also the trainings. So I think that's everything from my side. I think I was very quick, so hopefully on time.
That was perfect, Ines. Thank you very much. Now let's wait for any questions. Yes, there is a question. That is perfect. So can you share something about the quantified added value for the poultry producer?
So in this case, we received the feedback of the poultry producer of the solutions, and this was also gathered through the workshop that we performed there, and we did different exercises, and they were quite happy with the outcomes, and they will see it as a potential implementation on the in the production line. So yeah, they were quite happy, and they will reduce the food loss and waste that is produced, because this targets one of the main issues they have at the moment. So yeah.
So you can quantify that is good. Thank you for the question. If we have another one, let's see. Also, people can raise their hands and ask as well vocally, not in written form, if they would like. If not, we can take any additional questions for Ines and SILL 6 in the second part of this meeting. Now, I would like to invite Bart van Drogenbroek to join us. Bart, you're here with us. Feel free to share your presentation. You have 5 minutes and the floor is all yours.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Perfect.
And clearly, and you can see my screen as well?
As well, that's good.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot. So first of all, thanks for inviting us and giving us the opportunity to share our insights from SILL 4 with the audience. So the title of our SILL is Processing as a Service. And in this SILL, we focused on a flexible technology hub where we can deal with significant volumes of edible fruit and vegetables which are lost at the primary production stage, but also further down the value chain. Every season, due to climate, due to geopolitical tension, whatever, there are multiple reasons there is a surplus, and also second-class produce, which is not sold and goes to bioenergy or to feed, and thus is food loss and waste. And we have provided insights to develop a technological processing solution to turn these surplus fruits and vegetables into high-quality premium products with a longer shelf life. They can enter again into the food chain, like soups or sauces or smoothies, for example. And we observed with our SILL that industrial processors, which have a very big scale capacity, they are often not interested or cannot deal with these small or irregular volumes of unexpected supply in the fruit and veg chain. So this is what our solution is aiming for. It's also meant to create added value for the farmers, of course, and we noticed that this is a systemic issue which is still a problem across the EU. So basically, what we are providing as a solution is a processing hub equipped with flexible technology that can deal with the broad diversity of feedstock, and that is actually at the heart of the innovation. We showed during tests within our SILL that the technology we are using can handle both leafy crops, tubers, fruits, vegetables of all kinds of sizes, and turn them into a product with a longer shelf life after pasteurization or sterilization, for example. So actually, the technology is available. I don't have the time to provide you a lot of details on this, but we can discuss this separately if you're interested. Basically, it's using a vacuum to remove oxygen during processing and results in clean label food products without the need to add additives and antioxidants by using the vacuum to remove oxygen. So what is, of course, key is where to locate this processing hub. And of course, it makes sense to do this in the region, as you can see at the bottom left, for Flanders, in a production region where there's a lot of fruit or vegetable production. So we had contacts with a lot of partners in our area that are interested to make use of this valorization, the processing as a service model. What makes the hub unique is its fact that thanks to the versatile technology, it can handle a diversity of feedstocks. So it's not depending on one feedstock only, and by consequence, it can handle volatile and fluctuating feedstock volumes. Though it has a very small footprint, it doesn't need a lot of square meters in a factory to process this big diversity. That offers also opportunity to keep it small scale. It's very well connected to short supply chains where farmers could sell their processed products back to the actors in the region. And we also developed an integration tool, a decision support tool to decide what feedstock is available in a certain region, link it to the available processing capacity of the hub, and then also link it to market demand in that area. The progress we have been making during the ZeroW project is that we technically validated the processing technology on a wide diversity of feedstock. We visited both actual companies interested to make use of the technology and become a hub, and we also made use of a mobile processing container to illustrate the technology at different locations. We visited a food bank, but also a food producer, and even some ministers came to see and visit our processing test at that moment, as you can see at the bottom left. So basically, the key achievements are successful test campaigns. We noticed a strong local interest from farmer unions, corporations in our area. It aligns with a lot of current circular economy policies in Europe. Given that the ZeroW decision support tool we developed will make planning much easier, we believe this is a bottleneck which is solved as well. And we are now finalizing the business model that could make this local hub idea work in order to save surplus fruit and vegetables from being turned into biogas or feed, but keep it in the food chain instead. So what are the final steps? As we mentioned that the technology is ready to be used, we hope to launch a flagship project or a pilot version, which is actually hosted and run by commercial operators. There are some logistical points of attention, of course. The operators need to be trained as it's new technology, which is innovative, and some points of attention need to be learned to the operators. But yeah, at this moment, we're actually seeking for co-investors or public-private partnerships that could support the launch of such a hub. We have interest of farmer cooperatives, etc., who could be early adopters of the service. We're in close contact with some regional actors and cities in Flanders who wants to install such a hub. And we believe that this model can be scalable throughout the European Union once we demonstrate the final economic feasibility of this model. So with that, I'd like to stop and answer any questions if there are some in the chat. The slides are available, and as I said, you can come back with more detailed questions later also by email. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Bart, also for showing all the advancements. Really great work done. Now let's wait for some seconds to see if there are some questions. In the meantime, so you actually got a really nice compliment. No question, great project. That is really valuable.
Okay, thanks.
Of course, in the meantime, if some question arise, please do write it down or raise your voice and ask Bart now in some 10 minutes. In those 10 minutes, I would like to invite Elena Cardozo to present the last presentation of today. And hello, Elena. Yes, we can hear you.
Hello. Let me just share. Is it okay? Are you seeing the full screen version?
Still nothing.
Okay. Sorry, I was missing a step.
Don't worry.
Now you'll see the C.
Yes, perfect.
Now, is it okay now?
Thank you. Everyone needs C in this summary. Thank you, Elena. The floor is now all yours.
Okay. Okay, so I'll be presenting SILL 8, so algae solutions for zero waste. And this is by SILL 8 is by MC Sonai, Al Microalgae, and the University of Minho. Okay, so let's start with the stark reality that you already mentioned. So globally, a huge amount of food is wasted annually. And this isn't just an economic loss, but also environmental and social concern, because rotting waste emits methane and potentially pollutes soil and water sources. So what if this feedstock can instead grow one of nature's most versatile feedstocks? And this is where microalgae come in, specifically chlorella, because it's so rich in proteins and antioxidants, omega-3s, many things that we look for in feedstocks. It is traditionally grown using synthetic fertilizers. So what we propose is to use the food waste to cut microalgae production costs while recovering the food waste lost nutrients. So it's a triple win solution. We reduce the waste, we lower the microalgae production costs, and we create a premium biomass that can be used in many industries. So how does this work in practice? You get the grocery stores, expired fruits and vegetables and meat and bread and all the food categories. And instead of going to landfill, we put them in this dehydration and homogenization machine. And here it reduces the food waste weight by about 34%, and turns into a nutrient-dense powder. And this powder improves the storage because it's dry, it doesn't waste so fast, and it reduces also transport emissions. And then this powder can become food for microalgae in photobioreactors. So the idea is to have this circular solution where we transform inedible food into algae food. Each of these dehydration cycles takes about 7 hours and processes up to 400 kilos of food waste. And this can give rise to approximately 25 kilos of chlorella biomass. So because algae sells for 10 to 50 euros per kilo, depending on the application, the idea is to go from waste and into a valuable feedstock. So we've achieved a proof of concept now at pilot scale. We've tested different microalgae strains. We are now validating also heterotrophic mode of production where microalgae grow inside fermenters. And we've shown that they can uptake the nutrients from the food waste and attain similar productivities and growth rates comparing to synthetic media formulations. We have shown also that the pilot has a favorable cost-benefit ratio, but only at industrial scale, because microalgae production involves significant investment. So that's a difficulty that we need to overcome. But we've achieved the goal of reducing the food waste by over 20%. And still, for scalability, we believe that this modular design fits existing algae farms. So we've worked on the support app for the reverse logistics to connect all the players. So microalgae's biology makes them a powerhouse due to their efficient and circular and scalable features compared to other more traditional feedstocks. And we're leveraging these traits to develop key applications. namely for cosmetics, where we're validating the food waste-derived biomass functional activities, for example, antioxidant activity. And for the polymers applications, we have shown that this biomass can be used to generate carbon nanodots for fluorescence imaging, for instance. So still, there's some regulatory clarity that we need to address to certify safety of the food waste that is used. And the problem here is that the regulations haven't really caught up with innovation. So we need to define the end of waste criteria to unlock direct applications by humans in food or feed or cosmetics. And this is what I had to show you. And these are the contacts for the SILL members. Feel free to ask questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elena. Great work as well. We do have a question. So how it will work, the service from the food waste collection point to the algae production plant. So have you evaluated the feasibility of this business?
Well, now we're trying to quantify it, but we're still working on it. So far, it's working through single partnerships. It's on a case-to-case basis. We still haven't defined a clear path.
Thank you, Elena. So let's see if there are any other questions. If not, I think that we can share. Well, we can then move on to the next part of our presentation. So let me just see where we are. So now I think we have some questions that remain unanswered. So I would like to follow those and ask. I think at the beginning we have a question to Jose. So there was a question that we did not address, Jose. So if you can answer the question. So can the solution facility be commercialized for other to use in reduction of food loss?
Well, initially the platform it is even though it is piloting, but it is quite close to market, and it could potentially be escalated and extrapolated. Obviously, the colleagues from Multiscan could give more detail on that. And the whole facility is from Grupo La Caña, which are producers of fruit and vegetables, and obviously, well, they have a certain particular orientation to their business, but it could potentially be done.
Thank you very much, Jose. And with this, we cover all the questions that we have not covered so far. But of course, I encourage everyone still to ask questions. But I think, Jose, we can start from you. In this sense, do you have an open question now from your side to the audience regarding your SILL?
Well, but not really an open question, but it does raise interest from our SILL and the solution to see a bit more in detail the perception of the solutions, and obviously whether, for example, one of the two solutions is very oriented to ecological, non-ecological, and how important that would be for the audience or for the users is key for us, and obviously also the importance that would be given to saving at an early stage these products and giving them a second life as sauces and gazpachos or any other product. So more like a perception on how it is, these solutions, how they are perceived.
Thank you, Jose. Now I encourage everyone to speak up and speak out, actually. So, Raffaele, would you like to share your opinion?
Thank you. So thank you, Jose Luis. Your solutions is it's really interesting, and I think it's today it's a challenge that it's important to address, and maybe my considerations concern also the habits of the consumers, because I think that in this challenge it's really important also to try to modify the consumer's habits. So in this direction, have you think about also something for the consumer, for example, mobile apps, just to sensibilize the people concerning the importance of the and the impact of the food waste? Because in the most of the cases, so it's a matter of just appearance of the food, not quality. So thank you.
Yes, I would say that internally in the SILL, we've discussed this quite often, even not only the final customer, but also the retailers, which whose feedback and collaboration with us is really key, and because of the stage of pre-harvest and processing would later on revert on the quality of the products that arrives to the customer, and subsequently the to give them a better quality product would be important for them to be conscious, to have conscience of that work, and to be compromised with that target as well. So we definitely consider it very interesting and important, and even though not an app, but we consider important to be more in contact with the part of the value chain, because as you mentioned, the awareness is key. Otherwise, all the work we do a bit more upstream is not reaching, maybe, or it's important to reach that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Jose, also that's food for thought, let's say, the feedback. Andra, would you have a question to the audience, to the ecosystem?
Sure. I think I have to have one. Yeah, I am actually, and we are genuinely interested to hear different perspectives, also from other geographies, in terms of how do they think the willingness to share data is at the level of different supply chain actors, because this has been one of the challenges, and this is where we worked a lot actually to have data onboarded. The technology is not necessarily the issue, but rather the knowledge and the mastery of knowing how your data will be used, trusting that it will be used well, and also enabling the mechanism to convince potential data suppliers to share their data. So I was curious, how do you think it would be at your level, and also because in our case we had automated and more manual options of putting in data, which would apply in your context? Because obviously automated would be ideal. It's faster, but it's not always available.
Thank you, Andra. Anyone from the audience would like to contribute to this?
Would you put your data into a platform?
That's also a really straightforward one. So would you like to have your data. We have Raffaele. Would you like to speak up?
So sorry, I don't want to be the only one to speak, but I think it's a very interesting question, and I think there is one opportunity, maybe, I don't know if it's the right word, there is the data economy sustained and fostered by data spaces. So one point could be to try to transform the quite tough challenges of collecting data in an opportunity to make business for the data providers, because maybe it's the faster way to motivate them to share data, and data spaces could be the right tool to provide the opportunity to do this. And concerning the automation, I think the automation, it would be the best way to collect data, but it requires different maybe solution and different approach in the different step of the supply chain, of the value chain. Because for example, if you think in food production industries, maybe it's easier to have automated collection of data compared with the retail. So it's something that maybe needs to develop a strategy and to involve all the stakeholders.
Yeah,
Thank
indeed.
you.
And thank you for the comment, because this is one of the reason why we had two ways. Because, for example, even at the retail level, there is this automation. You can take some data from the accounting books and create it. But at the level of citizens, that's where it's really difficult to automate it, when there are not even the collected compostable items. They're not weighed. We don't have scales, so yeah. And with data spaces, totally, we are in a DS2 in another project on data space, and we have initiated here a data space focusing on climate neutrality. And data from food loss and waste is definitely one of the data strands that are to be included in this data space. So looking forward to chatting more. Thank you, Raffaele.
Thank you.
We do have another comment from Anouk, right?
Yes, it's just to add a small thing about data sharing issues. In Work Package 8, we're focusing on policy, and that's something that we heard a lot in stakeholders roundtable, that data is really hard to collect, and to also, for instance, producers are having a hard time also in terms of trust of where the data is going to go. So I just wanted to say that that's something that we really emphasize in policy recommendations that we are making, because policymakers definitely have a role in this. There is the EU Data Act. There are also a lot of tools of awareness campaigns on how data is going to be used, etc. So that's also something that on the side of policymakers can be improved, also for you after to be able to use this data to enable innovations, etc.
Thank you, Anouk. Also, we have a comment there. So they consider the problem is time for consumers to share data. So there is let's say a reward system, so incentives. So if you have thought about it, to help to overcome the extra effort for them and have them engaged. So I think, Andra, that you answered here, right, in the chat.
Yeah, and basically, yes, we have participated in a lot of events, and we see that there is a willingness, but this is also on the to-do list, what I said last. We need to be very convincing and very, very real when we say this is not just for the project. Because that's, I think, the biggest threat that we can have on our image, that, okay, you do this, then the project ends, then you do something else. So people's trust needs to be cultivated in a longer term, and this is why we hope that through the connection between these two projects that I mentioned, ZeroW with the platform and the data spaces, we can ensure continuity.
Thank you very much, Andra. There is also a recommendation to maybe utilize some token mechanisms to give some benefits of exchanging data, such as discounts, special offers, etc. So this, I think, is a really, really valuable feedback and information. Bart, would you like to contribute?
Yes, just to share one experiment we did in Flanders, where there was an app developed by the Public Waste Agency, where they tried to motivate consumers to actually weigh the food waste they were generating in their kitchen and share that data in an online platform. It was an app which was gamified, and you could deserve bronze, silver, or a gold medal in being a food waste fighter. Initially, there was a lot of interest, but in the end, the interest went down as well. So just gamification only is not enough. It raised some interest, but yeah, I think and I hope that with the digital tools we have, for example, if you would develop smart labels that allow to quickly scan with the mobile phone, is that could replace the physical weighting of the food waste we are throwing away, because that's quite it's how to say, it thinks you actually what you are wasting. It makes you reminding how much you spoil. So by making it more comfortable to do it by using a phone and quickly scan the label of the product you are throwing away and indicating how much it could be, it would be more comfortable to do that and faster. So in that way, future digital tools might convince consumers perhaps more quickly to contribute real life data. But for sure, also our government is highly interested, as you mentioned, Andra. There's a lot of estimations from food supply chain actors which are inaccurate, and that data is not consistent enough and robust enough to develop real solutions and business on that. And I think that is key. If we have better data, also coming from consumers, but also from other food supply chain actors, then we could build on more rigid, robust data and business models, which would allow us to better valorize it, basically.
Yeah, can I quickly just react? Or? Yeah,
Yes,
I guess.
sure.
So I totally agree, and I think what we wanted to hint towards in terms of next steps, because only at the very limited level we have it implemented in the blog part of the platform, is a system of recommenders that hint towards type of solutions that you see your consumption peaking, then we recommend a certain type of intervention. And with this recommendation, also something that actually perhaps is a lesson to be learned from us is more connection between ourselves, because when we explained in our local stakeholder ecosystem here, ZeroW, and people were interested. They even, created the accounts. They started putting data. But their biggest hope was actually, to meet you and to meet the truck, to see these examples and to connect with initiatives. This would give a sense of purpose, and perhaps this was a bit missing in our bigger project. More opportunities to connect not only us as SILLs and online, but really the ecosystem from us with the different solutions.
thank
Yeah.
you.
I agree, but of course, resources are limited to organize such replication activities. Well, let's see how the future goes. We're always available to participate in new projects and collaborate further.
Bart, I think that if you're already with your mic on, maybe you can share your question to the audience.
Mm-hmm. Well, regarding our SILL, the key question for us is how low can you go? How small scale can we go to be still economically competitive? Actually, that's a key question. We have strong beliefs in the available technologies. We have shown proof of concept of a wide diversity of surplus fruit and vegetables that were turned into premium food products, which were really appreciated in consumer testings. But the key question for investors is what is the minimum capacity which is needed to be competitive. On top of that, the markets in which we hope to sell the upcycled products is very competitive. Juices, soups, smoothies, purees. There are a lot of producers, there are a lot of companies busy in that field. And as far as we understand currently, it's very hard to convince consumers to pay more for an upcycled product. So my question to the audience is, are you aware of any initiatives in your region which look a bit similar like our hub, and at what scale do they operate? Do they focus on multiple products? So this is a bit my question, because yeah, we did some scanning in Europe, but of course we focused mainly on our own region. So that's a bit my question.
Thank you, Bart. I will give word to anyone in the audience if anyone is familiar with such an initiative similar to what Bart and the team are developing. I also think if there's no feedback, that's also an answer. So
Indeed, yeah. Yeah, we went to Spain as replication activity within the Zero project. And there we found out that there are some initiatives even supported by the local government. At the moment that there's surplus of peaches and nectarines, the local Catalonian government is putting money in the hands of the food banks in order to be able to pay the processing cost of converting the surplus peaches and nectarines into juices and purees. And those are then donated to food banks. But we also believe that there could be a commercial way of operating the hub and being self-sufficient without any funding from a local government. And that's basically what we are looking for. But okay, no answer is also a result indeed.
I think we have one person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a look at Netherlands, since it's also close by, and also it's
Yes.
a rather small country.
Yeah, indeed. We did have a look at the Netherlands. We are aware of some initiatives who look similar, like for example the company Van Rijsingen is a company who was actually a producer of vegetables for the canning industry and the glass jar conserved vegetable industry, and they started activities on processing their byproducts into ingredients as well. But that's really at a bigger scale. They have quite big scale facilities. There are some smaller scale initiatives like Van Kneus, who is a company in the Netherlands who is processing sweet potato surplus product into mashed potato puree. We just got in touch with them. So yeah, these are the initiatives with whom we would like to discuss their throughput, their business model, if they're willing to share some insights. And this will be very valuable to understand at what scale we should operate in the future to be successful.
I will. There's also maybe some other ones that could be nice.
Okay.
But maybe I can share them.
Yes, if you send me an email, it would be great to link us together. Thanks a lot.
That's great. We also have, I think, if it's correlated, there is also a solution in Catalonia. Anaí, I'm sorry for singling you out, but maybe just to understand better if you are relating to this SILL or to previous one, but it was to process surpluses from the same market. So Anaí, would you like to speak up a bit and help Bart? She says a second, please.
Okay, I'm trying to talk about this. The solution, I think it's maybe connected to the BART solution, but it's in the market. I just read a newspaper about this. It's a solution in Manresa market, I think. I'm not sure. I could look for the newspaper, and I will put the link here. But this market workshop in the same market that treats all the surplus for that market.
Okay.
So the same.
Yes. I'm aware of Espigoladores in Spain. I know the initiative Espigoladores, and it's a kind of a social economy company that is providing labor to people with a distance to the regular market, and they are converting fruit and vegetables into jams and purees and juices.
Yeah, that's imperfect.
Yeah, imperfect, indeed,
Yes.
indeed. But it's something else you are talking about.
No, and yes, it's Espigoladores. Yes, Espigoladores is the foundation, but there's a spin-off of Espigoladores is the
Imperfect, yes.
Is the
Yes, indeed.
workshop.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's the one. Okay, yes, we are
No,
aware about that.
but I meant actually speaking to Espigoladores, they told me about that solution in the market.
Okay.
But it's not the same.
Okay, there's another one.
I will look for the
Yeah, thanks. Would be great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you all. This is short analysis of the market for Bart. That's great. Thank you all for contributing. I would like to move on and ask Jesus if he has some questions for the audience.
Hello, everybody, again. Well, my question to the audience is, well, if you remember, it's just about the smart and sustainable trade. If you see the potential for this solution to reach the market from the business point of view, and also which one you foresee could be the limitations.
If anyone would like to take Jesus's question, just to briefly discuss it. I do have a question maybe for Jesus. Now also benchmarking on what Bart did. Are you also aware of, let's say, competitors in the field and how are they doing?
Well, we know that each individual solution that we implemented here has some equivalents by different technologies. There are smart labels which are already on the market. There is sustainable materials as well to build the sustainable trays. Designing barrier coatings, so there are like plenty solutions, but each of them are developed for individual needs and markets. We haven't seen something similar compiled into one single product like this. Perhaps trying to link your questions to my question, just perhaps like seeing how these individual developments and products behave by their own could have the answer in order to have the final, how to translate the sustainability or the development of the product into the food loss and waste from the business point of view.
Thank you, Jesus. Anyone from the audience that would like to jump in? If not, I'm sure that you can also reach directly to Jesus. Is something that requires, I would say, a bit more time to reflect and to answer. So Jesus, if you can be a bit patient for the ecosystem and gain the answer.
Yes, thank you.
Perfect, thank you. So Ines, from your side, any questions?
Yeah, it's I can see it's slightly different, let's say, because in our case, we've been working specifically with an industrial partner for a problem that they have, no, in terms of measuring with optical sensors and using algorithms, models to measure cell concentration and also with the defrosting problem. So I was thinking in how to adapt to another industrial partner. So how difficult would be to get them, get to the market in this side when we are applying a specific, a solution for a specific problem that an industry partner has to other industrial partners, no? Because we could adapt our solution, let's say. But yeah, it's like difficult, I guess, to reach the market. No, we need to identify another problem so we can target our solution to that other problem, let's say, no? So it's a bit open. So I was just reflecting on that, let's say. But yeah.
I would like to share their opinion or their experience. That would be also quite valuable. So please, we do encourage you to speak up. Raffaele, would you like to contribute?
Yes, I I think if I understood well properly the question, maybe the the point is mainly related with the training of the algorithm. So in case you have an algorithm for some quality or visual inspection, you need to and you want to apply it to a different kind of products, you need maybe to perform another training and the validation of the algorithm. So at the end, is maybe it's a matter of availability of data, or in case
Sure.
of visual of pictures, images, and perform another training and validation of the model. But probably you didn't. It's not necessary to start from the beginning. That is
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah. Yeah, thank you, Rafael.
You're welcome.
Thank you. If there are no more contributions on this question, feel free to reach out to Ines as well. And then last but definitely not least, Elena. Elena, what would be your open question?
I have a general question that I think all of us can at least think about, even if we can't answer it yet. But I'm curious about what's the impact of the fact that we're trying to generate a new product from something that would be wasted otherwise. So, because I think this can affect consumer perception for sure, but also businesses, because we're trying to work and to promote circularity or reuse and recycling of this that would be a waste. And we face not just legal barriers that are throughout the process. We find many barriers, but it's not just about safety. It's also about the perception or the values people have that will incentivize them to choose. But I think there should be stronger policies and a kind of responsibility, whether you're contributing to a worse environmental outcome or to a better one. There should be a responsibility associated to that, and that comes more to the policy side than to putting this burden on the consumer. But I think all of us can think of this as consumers. What would make us choose a given product and not the other?
Thank you very much, Elena. I think this is a really nice question to wrap up the session and to leave us with food for thought. But if someone would like to share their opinion right now on what Elena has shared, please do so. If not, then I think Elena really summed it up perfectly and left us with a question to wonder about. So I would like to thank you all for your questions, and especially to our Living Labs for their really hard work in the previous period, and wrapping it up now when the ZeroW project is soon to be ending. So I would like to give you a big thank you for all the hard work, but also for the ecosystem members for being there and for participating and sharing their knowledge and experience. If you are still not part of the ecosystem officially, we would like to ask you to join. It's just a simple form that you need to fill out. It's on our website as well. It's on this bit.ly link. It's on this QR code. So I think I have left you enough of time to scan it and share it. If not, you can rewatch the presentation, but also the link to join the business ecosystem is also on our website. And last but not least, I would like to invite everyone present to join us at the ZeroW Final Conference that is going to happen on September 16th in Brussels. So we are going to aim to discover all the solutions to Europe's food waste challenge. So I would say it's a really a pinnacle of all the hard work that we have been doing. So I invite you to join us in person, and I want you to share this event with all the peers that may find it interesting. So please go on our website, zerow-project.eu, and you can find the news article, and you can register to participate, and hope to see many of you in Brussels. If you have any questions regarding the ecosystem, please do reach out to myself and my colleague Mirana. We'll be there to assist you with any questions that you may have. So once again, thank you very much for joining. Have a lovely rest of the day and the rest of the week, and hope to see you soon.
Okay,
Thank
thanks a
you.
lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.